What's going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building, and welcome to August. Mortal Kombat 1 will officially be released next month, and this one has been a long time coming. Last month, we got a lot of exciting reveals, so you can only imagine with August being a month before the game is released, this month's gonna get even crazier. And that all starts this week. Rumors are going around that we will be getting a combat cast this week, but I don't have enough information to confirm that. But we do know we will see Mortal Kombat 1 at EVO, so either we get a win or we get a double win. I'm not complaining either way. I mean, especially after that surprise Gears reveal. Which brings us to our topic of the day. Now, we've pretty much been getting cameo reveals in every trailer, but despite this being a full-blown 3-minute showcase, we didn't get any for Big Darius. And I think that's because they're running out. We only got 4 left. You don't want to blow the cami load before you finish revealing the whole roster. So what we're going to do today is take a look at the cameos that have been confirmed for the roster so far, and then I'm going to give you my... I can't say predictions because this cameo roster has been unpredictable. I'm looking at you, Darius. I'm going to give you my thoughts on who should be added to this cameo roster, and I want you to give me your thoughts in the comment section. But don't forget to smash that subscribe button because I'm expecting this to be a very big month for Mortal Kombat 1, and we break this stuff down meticulously. Now let's get into it.
Run, boy, they coming on.
So as I stated in the intro, we only got 4 spots left. So how is this cameo roster looking so far? Let's talk about it. We'll start off with Goro. Now, I think Goro should never be a playable character. I look at him the same way I look at Shao Kahn, Onaga, even Kronika. I think boss characters should never be playable, so I think this cameo spot is actually perfect for him. But the in-game model is kind of off. It's not his model all around because in that Mugatti trailer, we look at, I think he was standing next to Li Mei when we actually saw him as a cameo character, and he looked great. It's just the model in-game, there's kind of like a disconnect there. I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about, but he looked big, he looked just like a giant compared to the person he was standing next to, and in the game, he just doesn't look like that, so hopefully that's still being tweaked and they get it figured out, but as far as on the cameo roster, I think that's the perfect place for Goro in this game. Next, let's jump to Striker. Now, back in the day, it was cool with friends and even on game FAQs to talk trash about Striker because he was kind of like the trash character in Mortal Kombat 3. But somewhere down the line, Striker got a lot of fans. I don't know if Mortal Kombat 9 did it or what, but when you say something about Striker, the Striker defense team is ready to come at you and rip your head off. Now, I'm not going to say anything negative about Striker, but police brutality is never a good thing, so a cameo spot is the perfect spot for this young man. Let's move on to the next character, and we have Frost. Frost is my favorite female combatant in Mortal Kombat, and that probably makes sense because Sub-Zero is my favorite character overall, but I think Frost should have been on the base roster. I think the base roster should have had about 28 people because she's spot 25. If she's not going to be on the base roster, then the cameo spot is perfect for her, but I hope they at least have her involved in the story because it looks like we'll be diving deeper into what's going on with the Lin Kuei, and I think they need to have her included in that and not leave her out because she's like the only female Lin Kuei warrior that we know of, I believe. So there's no way they just explore Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Smoke and leave Frost out of it. So while she is on the cameo roster, I hope she does have a big part in the story as well. Next, we got the most shocking reveal of all time in any Mortal Kombat game on any roster. Whether it's cameo or main roster, somehow Darius squeaked his way back in here. Now there's a few characters that I say should never be back in the Mortal Kombat game. Darius is one of them. He's not number 1, but he is one of them. We got Darius, we got Daru, I'll give you 3, and we got Shinnok. Shinnok might be number 1 actually, but I can't believe Darius made it into this game. That's why I say this cameo roster is absolutely unpredictable. When we saw him on here, it just opened my mind up, like we can see anybody. I guess they're just going full 3D era if he got his spot. So shout out to Darius, because he did his thing obviously and somehow got a spot. I can't wait to see his fatality because they weren't good in Deception. Let's keep it moving. Next, we got Scorpion. Now, this Scorpion looks great. I'll say that. As a cameo, Scorpion does look great, but I don't like the fact that Scorpion is on this cameo roster. I don't like the fact that Sub-Zero is on this cameo roster. I don't like the fact that Kung Lao is on this cameo roster. I think this cameo roster is a good place for us to get characters who missed the game, But now we got characters who are on the base roster, on the cameo roster as well. Now I understand it's probably because they got, the special specific moveset that actually work for cameos. If we see Scorpion as a cameo, we already see the spear coming across the screen, pulling the opponent back. That's amazing. But we gotta sacrifice it. Because I think this cameo roster could have been great if this cameo roster was unique to this cameo roster and not pulling fighters from the main roster to take up spots on it. I just don't like that, man. I just don't like it. That's another thing. When I say 28 characters need to be on this main roster, I think some of these characters could have fit on the main roster as well. But, if we got them cameos, let's leave them cameos. There's no reason to do them on both rosters. So, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Kung Lao, we're going to lump those three in together. I don't like it. Next, we got Kano. I think Kano might have been... No, Kano was not the most manageable to use in the stress test. As a cameo character, sure. You know what? We can lock Kano in as a cameo character because I really don't think Kano has been great. I think Mortal Kombat 11 was the greatest Kano has been in a long time, but still didn't really affect things too much. So cameo roster for Kano, fine. But they got to fix his move, man. They got to do something because when he pushes you down and holds you on the ground, it takes you too long to get up. That was the most annoying part by using Kano in that stress test. So I'll be interested to see in the open beta if they kind of sped that up or whatever. But you know what? We'll leave my boy Kano alone. I'm glad he's in here. Cameo, good spot for him. I could see it going either way, but if he's just a cameo, that's fine. Now we got Cyrax and we have Sector. Cyrax is spot 26. If this was a 28-person roster, Cyrax would definitely be 26. Now, I don't like the cyber characters at all. So if Cyrax was on the base roster, I'd want to see him on there as human Cyrax. But I know a lot more people are tied to him as the robot, so put him on the base roster as human Cyrax, and maybe somewhere in the story, you turn him into a robot. Make everybody happy. I just can't believe Cyrax and Sector are missing 3 games in a row, especially when they look so good in Mortal Kombat 11. But at least they're cameos here. We got to take the wins we can get. Next up, we go to Sonya Blade. Now, I'm about to contradict myself because they can't leave Sonya Blade off this roster. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade. You can't leave Sonya Blade off this roster. How do you restart the Mortal Kombat universe, call it Mortal Kombat 1, and not include Sonya Blade? Not only Sonya Blade, man, they're leaving Jax out too. Granted, we don't have the full roster yet, but I don't see them showing us these OG characters as cameos up front and not revealing them to be on the main roster if they were in fact on the main roster. So it's looking kind of spooky for them. Either way it goes, shout out to Sonya and Jax. But those are the names that have officially been revealed as cameos for Mortal Kombat 1. Now we gotta talk about a name that has been unofficially revealed as a cameo. And that name is Motaro. A lot of people have been waiting for Motaro to return to Mortal Kombat for a long time, and now we know Motaro is back. How do we know? In that trailer, or the gameplay story preview, whatever it was, they showed Reiko and they also showed Motaro. Now, unless Netherrealm Studios wants to swerve everybody, it's pretty obvious where these two sit on the roster. We'll get Reiko on the main roster, we'll get Motaro as a cameo, and I'm glad to see Motaro back in the game with 4 legs as we should have seen him a long time ago. So shout out to the boy Motaro. So that's it. These are names we know on the cameo roster, which means we got 3 spots to fill. So let's go ahead and fill these 3 spots on the way I hope things shake out. And we'll start with the first one, who is Shujinko. If Shujinko is in this game, that means Onaga is in this game because their stories go hand in hand. You can have Onaga without Shujinko, but you can't have Shujinko without Onaga. So if Shujinko is revealed to be on this cameo roster, that gives us, I'd say, a 10% more chance. It's not going to be a big jump because all of these cameo characters, I'm sure, will not be involved in the story, but this is going to be a good indicator. And I really want to see Onaga in this game. I want to see him as one of the big bosses if there is more than a few. So let's get Shujinko up in there. Now, this one, a lot of people might not be happy with because I hate to tell y'all, but life is about balance. If you look at this cameo roster, what do you notice? With everybody we already know who's going to be in here, we only got 2 women. So they're going to want to fill this up with some more women. And I think one of those women they will use to fill this cameo roster will be Jade. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. We'll see what it looks like. But we got one more. Now, with Jade, again, I think she should be on the main roster. I mean, I'm not going to even say anything about her being a cameo. Like we said, those 28 spots earlier, she's definitely one of those spots that should have been filled up there. But we only got 24, so unfortunately, they bumped her down as a cameo. But the last spot we have on this cameo roster is a character that people have been asking for a long time. I don't even think she's been in a mainline Mortal Kombat game besides Armageddon, but people want the character and love and yearn for this character so much. Honestly, I don't get it. I understand the relationship between her and Sub-Zero. Sure, we can see that pulled out. Now that we've said that, we can go ahead and reveal it is Serena. But if Serena is a cameo on this roster, they need to just go ahead and put her in the story as well. Because if you're going to use the character, use her. Right now, she's like one of the most obscure Mortal Kombat characters, and everybody still loves her. So, explore the relationship between her and Sub-Zero. Do whatever you got to do, even if that's not a thing anymore. Just bring her in this universe and actually use her this time. But that is it for my picks on this cameo roster. I want to see Shujinko locked in so we can lock Onaga in. I don't think Jade should be in this cameo roster, but you can't leave her out of this game. So if she's not on the main roster, you got to put her in as a cameo. And last but not least, I think it's time for us to explore Serena's character. But that's it for me. Let me know who you want to see in the comment section. But don't forget to drop a like on this video and smash that subscribe button because we got a lot more Mortal Kombat content coming up going forward. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.